Applejacks dreamed of her ideal world. Harriet and Spike were shackled and pinned. Applejack was an element of chaos among her own ashes, trying to regenerate in time. She wouldn't even with Twilight's help. Dorothy the Clown laughed at everything. Twilight the Unicorn was alone. Hey! A pink and blue comet in a spiral dive hit Nightmare Eclipse in the back, wings, sides, legs, and neck to the high-pitched battle cry. Take the alicorns for miracles, Applejack said very literally the instant her mind finished loading into her new brain. You're welcome! No, you're not supposed to be here, Your Majesty! Yelled the Nightmare. Lynx and Nightmare Manacle's genes exploded in spectacular fashion. Their Shatterer and Nightmare Manacle locked eyes. The heck happened here? You call that a radical entrance? Nightmare Manacle snapped. No, it's an awesome entrance! And... oh, Celestia, you really are. Rainbow Dash looked at the shade of her nightmare in horror. You don't deserve to call yourself me! At least I remember my crimes! Rainbow growled. So I don't let my crimes rule me. I'd rather do that than being a self-loathing, suicidal crybaby. Who are you calling a crybaby, you heartless jerk? Homicidal maniac? Karma Houndini? Oh, you did not just go there, you... Rainbow Dash sighed, face-huffing. I thought I was through harping on past me. Ditto. Is randomly inserting yourself into battles the only way you can make an entrance? Eclipse exclaimed. Rainbow Dash shook her head and growled as she remembered the situation they were in. Free will! Free will! Rainbow Dash zipped among her friends, touching them and calling out the name of her element of chaos. Chains dissolved off Rarity and Spike, who instantly got up and breathed fire and fired a copy of the failsafe cell at Nightmare Paradox at the exact same time. Ah! The Nightmare's concentration broke. Mine! Rarity said, taking in Spike's burns. Free will! The clown makeup and costume vanished off of Derpy at Rainbow Dash's touch, and the junior loyalty got up and shook herself. It's not funny. Free will! Dash tapped apple pie, and the filly woke up, shaking her head. What a time to fall asleep. I'm sorry, Everpony. Rainbow Dash, how could you? Twilight snarled. You're welcome for saving your plot! You were supposed to keep the princesses safe, you idiot! What about Plan B? I insisted! Insisted? You're the adult! You could have just freaking paralyzed them! I couldn't bring myself to impose on their majesty's free will. Twilight felt like she was about to have an aneurysm. Free will? Dash, be honest with me. Is that the real reason? Or were you aching to beat up Discord that badly? Sorry, Twilight. Blame me for this. You needed help. I gave them a brief update about the Alicorn Witch and asked them to come. I hate you, like 1,000 burning suns. I'm sorry. Twilight looked to Rainbow Dash, but now that she'd calmed down a little, she saw that Pegasus looked worried. Rainbow, why did you really come back? Rainbow gave a sigh. Look, we lost Pinkie Pie. Her eyes actually teared up just a little. Fluttershy's gone, Derpy's daughter, my foalhood friend, my best friend. Now Applejack keeps talking about Elysium. But I didn't want to lose any more of you, okay? She said, voice small, almost pleading. I felt some pony warn me about her, she said, pointing to Paradox, who was at present occupied with trying to fend off Spike, Rarity, and Derpy, while simultaneously trying to heal her burns and recover from the mental backlash of having her spell interrupted. The princesses said they could feel how strong she was and that you'd need help. I'm sorry, Twilight, but... Twilight hugged her friend tight. I feel the same way. I understand. Rainbow hugged back. Twilight didn't realize something. Wait, I thought the princesses were powerless, she exclaimed, blinking as realization hit her. How are they even helping at all? Oh, that's funny story, but no time to chat. Sorry, Twilight said, putting her horn on Rainbow's head. Didn't want to use this. This'll hurt in the morning, but I'm through with being in the dark all the time. Rainbow Dash, fly us up as high as you possibly can, Princess Luna ordered, serious, the two holding onto my back for dear life. What? Why? There's no time! I stopped as Luna gave me a hard look. If we and Celestia are going to aid Challenger friends, we require our magic. If we are closer to our concepts, we can regenerate. Rancor likely did the same thing after her duel with Spike. Sally blinked. So why didn't we do that before? Luna and I both looked at each other. The way I was telling her cold friend was the bad guy. Because that wasn't our fight. We didn't need to, and it wouldn't have been worth the effort considering the villain the others had to face was so badly weakened. But we needed now, Luna said. She didn't have to tell me twice. Alright, hang on. I turned upward, going into a sonic rainbow. The air got thinner as we went higher and higher. No, it's not enough. Not nearly enough. My wings can't get enough air. I couldn't breathe. I don't care if my element keeps rebuilding my body. I need air! I fall back down, panting. Come on! I try again, just fall back down again. This can't be it! No, Twilight, the others. I can't. I have to do this. It's alright, Rainbow Dash. You did the best you could. No, I said, growling. No, I'm not going to give up. I can't. Pinkie, Fluttershy, Scootaloo, Derpy's Filly. I can't lose anybody else. I'm not letting Twilight and the others fight on their own. Nothing's stopping me. Not freaking physics, not some Alicorn Witch. And not me, I said, thinking of why I was so scared of using every ounce of my power. I didn't want to hurt anyone, didn't want to kill someone. But I didn't. My friends were going to die, and I was more afraid of that. I let the princesses go and got some distance, letting the power explode. I erupted in red energy and rainbow lightning. I was Ender Dash, and I felt different than before. I didn't feel crazy or bloodthirsty. I just felt free. Free to use this power for whatever I needed to. Grab on. We're going to give this story a happy ending if it kills us. It looked freaked out for a bit before grabbing on. I flew straight up, taking as much air in as I could. I'd need it. I controlled the lightning around me like my own hooves, forming a canopy for the fillies. I was moving so fast, almost as fast as my normal sonic rainboom. Almost there, I said, waiting till it was now or never time. 3, 2, 1. I counted down to myself, timing this to the last second. Ender Rainboom! I exploded forward, feeling the atmosphere around me shatter and us rocking up. I didn't even look back at the electrified rainbow I knew was there. I don't think I've ever flown that fast. I think that princesses, my Pegasus magic is boosted, including the magic protecting him from the G-forces as we climb higher and higher. And I stopped. I feel weightless. I look back down. The planet is so beautiful from up here. Until I try to breathe and find myself suffocating. I panic until I see Celestia fly up in front of the sun, Luna in front of the moon. One glowing gold, the other silver, as light rushes into them. It's so beautiful. I don't even care my vision going fuzzy. I felt his catch me and start bringing me back towards the ground. Twilight broke the connection. So once they got me back to the atmosphere and my element of chaos got me kicking again, we came to help you guys out. Twilight's jaw dropped. You flew them into space? On your own? Rainbow Dash cracked the proud smirk Twilight had missed for so long. Yep. Twilight couldn't help smiling. That's our Rainbow Dash. No, this is our Rainbow Dash! Nightmare Eclipse snapped. Damn right, Manacle agreed. I bet I could fly out of the whole solar system if I wanted. A galaxy! Unfortunately, the sight of 2 fillies preparing another attack and the other nightmares emerging to help their comrades reminded the heroes there was a battle going on. It might be too early for a group hug, Twilight said, a little sheepishly. Ready, Lulu? Ready, Sally. Aim for the ghostly nightmares! Twilight screamed at the 2 little alicorns. Nightmare Eclipse's eyes widened in shock and alarm. Yeah! Oh no you don't! Nightmare Paradox said. A millisecond later, a sonic rainbow hit her square in the helmet, cracking it. Thanks to whoever brought down the walls and ceiling, I get let loose! Rainbow Dash exploded into a glowing red angel of death, only this time, the lightning crackling around her shone like a rainbow, and the red was brighter, more beautiful. Guess I have to fight Twilight Sparkle to save the world after all. Time for the happy ending already! Agreed, incomplete me! Nightmare Radical blew the 2 fillies backward with sonic rainboom simply by flapping her wings. She snarled as she formed a storm cloud and tried blasting the princesses with lightning. It was all the sisters could do to suddenly play defense. Rainbow Dash! Derpy called to the loyal Nightmare, flying up. Why are we doing this? Blue aren't a bad pony! You never punted to smart ponies! Radical had a look of self-loathing that wouldn't look out of place on Trader Dash, but this one was tinted with rage. Because of Discord, I betrayed Equestria. We all betrayed each other. We betrayed the world. We betrayed everything we loved. Every pony betrayed every pony because of that sick fucker. I'm tired of all this betrayal. I'm loyal to my friends, and together we'll fix everything. Discord will pay for it all. And when we're done, no one will ever betray any pony ever again. I'll delete this world as many times as it takes to save it. Derpy sighed. You pill hate yourself. Don't blue, Rainbow Dash. I never stopped! Yelled Manacle, sending a wave of lightning the mare had to hold back using the full strength of her element. Nightmare Whisper surged to Apple Pie again, only to find a fully healed Applejack jump in her face and give her a buck to the snout, causing Paradox to recoil as well. Hush now, quiet. No! Applejack yelled at the vision of the Apple Pie clan, Apple Bloom, Granny Smith, and Big Mac at the family reunion, breaking free. Let her shy, Applejack said, looking up at the kind Nightmare. Why are you doing this? You ain't a monster. You're the sweetest mare I've ever met. What happened to ya? Whisper pinned her ears. I'm just helping my friends. Is that wrong? I just meant, why did you turn into this? What happened to ya? The Nightmare actually shivered. I don't want to talk about it. I know you worry about me, Applejack, but we're going to make a better world. A world where there's no cruelty, where no one's hurting. But is it worth killing so many ponies? To me, it is. I don't feel any pain when it happens. Think of it as just going back to the start. Beginning of a new cycle, like the seasons. Besides, it's kinder this way. Kinder than them suffering under Discord. Applejack teared up. Sorry, Fluttershy. I'm sorry too, Applejack, Whisper said, tears constantly streaming from her eyes, glass butterflies forming and slicing into Applejack's skin. The mare groaned, regenerating and leaping at her. The Nightmare Shade prepared her butterflies but waited, expecting an illusion to come first, only to be bucked in the horn by the real thing that she believed to be fake. She retaliated by trying to spear her with her mane, getting several hits in before the mare jumped back and began to take the defensive. Ramflin headed straight for Derpy once more. Come on, smile, smile, smile! She cackled, sending her swarm of blooms once again. Failsafe spell! Called Twilight, teleporting in front of it and focusing on the chaos havoc for element, channeling a tragedy to cancel out the wave of endless laughter. Pinkie, this isn't you. You're not some monster clown. Can't you see people are suffering because of Paradox? The nightmare merely laughed. Silly Twilight. Eclipse and the others are my friends. Why wouldn't I help them? I know ponies are suffering, because none of this will ever have happened. Don't you remember those Groundhog Day loop plots on TV? No pony but the one trapped remember the thing. The rest just could go back to the start, not remembering anything. When we finally make our world, no pony will remember any of this. They'll just be so full of happiness they'll never be sad again. Twilight shuddered. That voice, it was so much like Pinkie's. That scared her more than anything. That's not true, Pinkie. You're racing ponies. They're dying. You silly Twilight. That's not how these plots work. Every pony in the knows they're played for comedy. Twilight gave a sad sigh. Sorry, Pinkie, she said, firing a beam. Nightmare blocked it, but it only exploded like fireworks, blinding her and letting a second blast knock her to the ground. I can't take your word for it right now. The happy Nightmare gave another demented laugh and summoned a barrage of party cannons from all directions, forcing the mare to dodge the assault that blew a hole in the floor and sent a mushroom cloud of confetti into the sky, shockwave knocking Twilight off her feet. Star Song, truly Rula, it'll be my never birthday gift to you. Eclipse will make sure there's no except yes and yes except no to cause none of those bad things will have ever happened, and our world will finally be back. Oh, Applejack, called Apple Pie, Spike grabbing Nightmare Mare by the flanks, his claws digging into her and pulling her back with the little filly on his shoulder. The filly looked to Mare with tears in her eyes. Why are you doing this? You're my auntie. You really think I shouldn't exist? Want to hurt me? Mare actually looked sad for a moment. That rotten Ballard. He... Pie, wake up, Apple Pie. The farmer's gone now. Poor girl, she's grayer than slate. Broke her with that stupid story. No, Applejack. He broke her with a lie. What? The story doesn't end that way. Super Stallion faked his death and lives happily ever after with his love. That rotten liar, I should have known. Oh, please step out of it. You just lied to Derpy too. You can feel it, can't you? Yeah, I can. That's it. I'm tired of all my friends being hurt by his lies. Lies may be useful, but wouldn't the world be better if they didn't exist? Then you wouldn't be in this mess at all. You're right. The world would be better off without deceit, without lies, and Discord couldn't have won in the first place. And if that world doesn't exist, it has to be made. This world of lies is absurd, and it would be better off gone! No, Apple Pie, ain't Yahoo shouldn't exist. It's this absurd world of Discord's no-good lies that shouldn't exist, Mira replied. And I'm helping my friends fix that. When we're done, you'll live in a world where Discord ain't hurting ponies with its lies. The whole family will. That's what I'm doing! Apple Pie whimpered. But I don't want you doing this for me. And I don't think any pony else does either. Mira snarled in rage. I know they don't. That's a harsh truth I've accepted. And I've accepted the ponies in Twilight's world will be happy, including you! Apple Pie gave a sigh. Sorry, Aunt St. Applejack, but we've got to stop you. Then you'll have to face the truth! The Nightmare roared, opening her wings. Countless emerald eyes stared right into the two. You're a freak. Dragon's not supposed to be generous. You're just a little fangirl in way over her head. Rarity only loves you because you're big. 1,000 years ago, she wouldn't have given you the time of day. You only exist because a murderer crushed the world. You're a mistake! Apple Pie's element glowed bright, reacting to the contradictory nature of the generous dragon she rode. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? A little fangirl like me is a hero now. And by something bad thing good came out of bad. Ponies always say to look at the silver lining. Spike felt Apple Pie's energy pulse into him, and couldn't help laughing as it pointed out the paradoxical logic. What's wrong with being a freak? Everyone always says being unique is a good thing. Why should that upset me? She's my mare friend, isn't she? So what if I had to grow up so we could be together? That's a good thing in my book, the dragon replied, spitting a cloud of ink in the Nightmare's face, causing her to recoil in surprise as she was blinded, allowing Spike to hurl her to the ground by the flanks. Spike looked over his shoulder at Banneret, then back at Mira. And I know not to be afraid of what I am. Mira snarled, slamming her hooves down and sending pillars of crystal spikes to the ground. Spike was a big target. A crystal grazed his legs as he took off into the air with Philly in tow, a moment before he could be impaled 100 times over. You know the difference between your average nightmare and me? I know I'm crazy. I know my friends are crazy. I know I'm extreme. I know I'm making innocent ponies hurt. I know I'm a worthless, filthy hypocrite for working those sad when she's the kindest of lies. I know how many times we've murdered ponies who didn't do nothing to deserve it. I know I'm earning myself a nice pretty harness on the devil's big ride in Tartarus. But you know what else? I know that for every pony else it's gonna be worth it when they ain't gotta live in a world where you gotta talk course apples every 5 minutes just to keep from hurting your friends' feelings. I know you got some pretty sound words to grandstand about how I'm wrong. has to have a throne in the heart of every pony, whispering that it's their best friend. If me being hated by every pony and deserving it is the price for them being free of that fake friend, fine by me. We will make a happier world. No more worlds held together in lies. Just no more lies. Please. Just no more lies. Spike was surprised at the pain and sorrow in the nightmare's voice. Nightmare Whisper appeared alongside her just long enough to gently nuzzle her. Banneret snarled, opening his mouth and sending a billow of flames at his counterpart, only for a wall of crystal to rise and block it. Now, Spike, leave him be, said Rarity politely, looking up at him with sad eyes. Spike, why are you doing this? Rarity. For a moment, Banneret had a sad, longing look on his face. Rarity, please come with us. Become one of us, so we can protect you. Be with me again. You're the only one missing. We can all be together, be friends again, just like it used to be. I'll give you the universe for nothing in exchange but your company. I'll give you my power, my lady desire, if you want it. I'll make myself your slave. I'm sorry, Spike, Rarity said, a look of understanding on her face. Part of her wanted to cry. I'm sure you Rarity loves you as much as I love my Spike, but I can't join you. So be it, said Banneret, almost standing heartbroken. Then sent a torrent of flames. Rarity used a wall of crystals, then jumped over it, anger glowing as she lifted a huge crystal and threw it into Banneret's face at full force. Banneret roared in pain and staggered back, but then whirled around, tail-whipping her into the ground. Banneret bit into a decoy illusion when she was down, as she climbed out and continued her assault. Darkly manipulated Nightmare Manacle's lightning once again, sending it right back at her. Manacle dodged, but ran into another thundercloud Derpy had created, stunning her. The Alicorn sisters gave another battle cry and acted as a pair of rockets that impaled the shadowy Nightmare. Nightmare Manacle gasped in pain, and Nightmare Paradox did the exact same thing, bleeding from where the Alicorn sisters had gone through Nightmare Manacle, just as she had from every hit her companion sustained. Princess Celestia, the Nightmare gasped in disbelief. Why does every pony keep calling me princess? Was our dad a king? I'll explain later, Sally. Paradox recalled all her nightmares into herself. Even them facing even odds against the heroes was too risky in her mind. She couldn't take risks when she wasn't sure what information of previous loops Discord had implanted in Incomplete Twilight's brain. This loop was defective. Now you're the one whose trump cards are all used up, Rarity shouted, stone encasing the Nightmare's legs. Rainbow Dash! Ender Rainboom! The Lightspeed Pegasus hit the Nightmare head-on again. The sun and moon plate that covered half her face shattered. It revealed a deep burn scar that refused to heal, shaped like a wand-topped star. Guess Alicorn Trixie really did leave her mark on you, Twilight shouted. Nightmare Paradox blinked. Inside her scarred-over eye was a tiny pair of clock hands. Time stopped. Everything froze. Hands on the clock began to spin backward. You will wander forever. Time snapped back. Thunderdash was once more zooming towards Paradox at full speed, the Nightmare's mask intact. Paradox shattered the stones holding her and used them as a barrier between her and the Rainboom, then teleported out of the path entirely in the extra millisecond she gained. It blasted Enderdash from behind with a gale of freezing wind, didn't wait for her to break free, and summoned a black rod that impaled the charging Pegasus, making her crash. Time marches only as I command. I believe it's time to end this farce with a chance at victory. The Nightmare looked down at her counterpart. Do you really think you were the first version of you I had to amputate from her false friends? We are Twilight Sparkle, after all. Her name is Twilight the Unicorn! An ancient but beautiful sword shot through the air and struck at the center of the Nightmare's key mark. The sword bounced off, barely mussing the fur, and hit the floor with a clatter. That's weird. That always works on Pony Rangers. As Minty Pie finished climbing out of the hole in the castle roof, everyone, from Nightmares to Alicorns, mortal and immortal ponies alike, stared, bug-eyed. Cousin Minty Pie! Apple Pie exclaimed. This was too crazy. Something was different about her. Her movements held a resolve to them. She had scars on her hooves. Hey, Apple Pie. Nice to see you're doing okay. She managed a weak smile. You weren't supposed to be here. You weren't important! Nightmare Paradox was beside herself. Is the rebellion with you? Applejack asked. Rebellion? Nope, it's just me. Just you? Minty Pie, have you gone crazy? You're going to get yourself killed! Twilight exclaimed. I honestly didn't tell her to come. She did this all on her own. You could have encouraged the untrained civilian with no magical powers to turn back home. Very easily. Are you kidding? She fought through fiends and dark lords to get here to help you. What makes you think one little voice in her head could have stopped her? Apple pies are as stubborn as mules, and pies are as crazy as foxes. I know I'm not to blame for letting Amnesia Clearly and Minty Pie join a fight against 6 nightmares! Nightmare would have killed everyone, then turned you into Nightmare Purgatory, then killed everyone else if your friends didn't come when they did. Don't you think it kills me inside too, to save them in harm's way? Twilight noticed the time travel scroll at Minty Pie's hooves, torn in two. That scroll wasn't too important, was it? I kinda accidentally tore it in two when I was climbing up. It's okay, said Nightmare Paradox matter-of-factly, shooting fireballs at Minty Pie. There's this phenomenal substance known for repairing broken scroll pieces. It's known as glue. I think I'll make some of you. Twilight rushed to bring up the force field, but Minty Pie dodged the fireballs with moves born from experience and threw the scroll in the ball of one, incinerating it. Now that's just force apples. Nightmare felt a headache coming on. Thanks, Minty Pie, Twilight said, her jaw and apple pies hitting the floor. Since when did Cousin Minty Pie move like that? You're welcome. Minty clapped her hose together. Wait a second, I think I saw all this in that silvery pool in the castle basement. Applejack lifted an eyebrow but said nothing. Minty Pie pointed at the nightmare. Your Twilight's bad alicorn self, while her good alicorn self is... wait. Lulu, what's going on? I thought we were just helping the ponies who woke me up feast the evil witch. I promise, Sally. It'll all make sense later. For now, just roll with it. Okay, Lulu. Rolling with it sounds like fun. Hey, you're the mayor from when I woke up! Rainbow Dash said in recognition. Get lost before you get hurt! She struggled to pull the stubborn black rod out of her body. Twilight, Mindy said, looking at the unicorn. Pinkie Pie says you better keep your promise about not blaming yourself for her growing old. What the? Twilight exclaimed. Is the afterlife offering free rides to the world of the living or something? Well, there was this pool in the castle basement. I was so thirsty I almost drank from it, and then I kinda looked into it first, and Twilight's nightmare shook her head incredulously. How we could have once been part of the same soul is a mystery I doubt even I could fathom. Did you know there's a 1,000-year-old civilization of season spirits underneath the castle? Asked Minty, inexplicably trailing into a new subject. I got tricked into almost wiping out the summer spirits, but I made real friends with some of the winter spirits, and it got them the courage to stand up to their queen, and poof, Paradox said. Minty Pie was shrunk down to the size of a doll, and Paradox towered over her. Word to the wise, Minty. Showdowns are not the place for recaps or backstory. They aren't? The doll-sized Minty asked. I'm sorry, I've only really been in tough one-on-one fights, so then the nightmare teleported her off the side of the castle. Twilight teleported her above Nightmare Paradox. The nightmare's eyes widened. She quickly teleported out of the way, looking scared. Twilight slowed Minty Pie's fall and used a failsafe spell on her, then drained her magic more by adding to the protective aura against the nightmare's telekinesis, hoping that Rainbow Dash and the princesses could handle her on her own. She'd be out of mana in no time if she had to support 3 more ponies, even splitting it with rarity. Minty picked up her sword in her mouth. It glowed the colors of the 4 seasons. I think I see this. Minty, please, I beg of you, leave. You are not helping. Minty sadly shook her head. Sorry, no can do. I saw how things will go if I leave. Boulder-sized hot cold rock bombs appeared in front of the faces of every pony and dragon present. Remember me? The nightmare shouted while they exploded. She then sighed and started muttering to herself. Okay, checklist. Rainbow Dash pinned down and couldn't flee. Boom, she'll be regenerating for a bit. Spike, dizzy for the moment, as tough as my #1 assistant should be. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, they're still moving, thank goodness. Up high, Derpy, I guess Minty, unconscious and bleeding to death. I should probably teleport Minty to one of the bedrooms and transfer the door into that of a bank vault, for her own good. Rarity is scrambling to take all their injuries for herself before they die, and applying tiny stones in her telekinesis as emergency bandages. And Applejack still regenerating. Check for illusion call signs. Nope, everything checks out. Just you, me, and me myself. Oh, stop staring in shock. Ready, aim, fire! A beam of death fired from the nightmare's horn. Twilight returned fire at once with one of her own. Twilight cringed and forced herself to continue. She kept her nightmare busy, and Rarity and Applejack had time to save the others' lives. Black threads began to spider their way down the nightmare's beam, crossing silently, unseen, along the beam of Twilight's magic, closer and closer to her horn, to her brain, her heart. Twilight didn't see it coming, never saw it coming, couldn't see it coming. Her mind and eyes were focused on stopping the nightmare no matter the cost, feeling anger of seeing her friends near death, the rage, the hate, the hurt, the fury. She wanted to see this version of herself burn, see her suffer, just like Discord had, just as Discord deserved. The Sword of 4 Seasons cut off Magica's replacement horn. Beam wasn't strong enough to vaporize Twilight. It wasn't meant to. All the power behind it was a concussive blast, knocking Twilight back, spinning. The nightmare cut off the spell. Appai, I'm sorry, Minty said, looking at Magica's horn, as Truth had shown her to do. You! What part of lie on the ground and silently bleed to death was hard to understand! I'm an adult Earth pony born and raised on Sweet Rock Acres, right next to the chaos capital of the world. I've survived a trip through a see everything at once pool and a fight with the Queen of Winter and the King of the Sober Darkness. I'm made of harder stuff from the south who spent her days collecting green socks. Not sad or anything, you know, but the still furious Twilight had seen her horn fly off snarled. You traitor, what have you done? Twilight hissed, ready to clobber her. The horn, look at the horn! Twilight glanced at Magica's horn and saw the black threads dissolving off it. She realized what almost happened. See, you saved my soul. You just saved Equestria. 100 days' work, Twilight, Minty said with a smile, attempting to salute. Ah! Nightmare couldn't stand this absurdity. So close, so close, so close, so close, so close! The specters of the other nightmares joined in her cursing. Twilight almost hugged her soul sister, but stopped, remembering what happened before. Thank you. You're a very helpful pony. Twilight turned to face the nightmare, her horn regenerating. Nice try, but I refuse to become you, because that's what free will is all about! Yeah, I saw in the weird pool. This one world, a pony named White Cross who was supposed to become the new Dracula, but he refused to turn evil when Cultivania's spirits empowered him, and enough with the pool of truth already! It's been done to death! The nightmare growled. Twilight, I think you and me, us touching, I think, after looking at that pool, I think it's part of what's supposed to happen. Minty sounded unsure. No, not like scared, terrified. Twilight froze in place for a moment. Minty Pie wanted the two of them to touch. The nightmare cursed. This is ridiculous! It's like I'm in a castle infested by hybrid spawns from some unholy union of Discord and Pinkie Pie! A zillion one universe is over? Distortion, are you okay, dear? Queen Pinkie Pie said, wearing her smiley face and birthday cake crown today. Yes, Mama, the half-Reconquest cult said. Just felt like some pony said something mean about me. Pinkie Pie hugged her son. Well, don't you worry about it. Ponies say mean things all the time, but most of the time it's just because they're hurt, angry, or don't realize they're talking to a person. Huh? I think things said just to be mean don't mean anything. And not the fun kind of don't mean anything. Just psh, whatever don't mean anything, said the alicorn. Okay, Mama, he hugged back. Now I've got the feeling some pony somewhere just gave me the brush off, the nightmare growled. Thanks, your majesties, Rainbow said as the healed alicorn fillies pulled the black rod out of her. Girls, Twilight shouted, stopping in front of Dash. I'd say it's about time for formation. Who would fire the rainbow of light at me? Fantasy! I'm a gallery of nightmares! You need a herd of veteran elements of harmony to steal my perfection from me. Rainbow sighed. Twilight, I know you don't need 2 elements of loyalty, so I'll keep her, busy. And she flew off to do just that. Twilight, you do have a way past her trick with the whole undo the flow of time thing, right? Spike asked. That was when ice shards began to rain down on him. Rarity had to catch them and throw them back before they could impale him. At the same time, self-multiplying pony seeds and throwing stars were thrown in Apple Pie and Derpy's general direction. Forcing them on the defensive, Rainbow Dash chose to simply zoom into the swarm until she looked like a pincushion, the throwing stars not having complex enough programming to detach themselves if they stuck inside the wrong targets. A giant upside-down playpen landed on top of the alicorn fillies and fused with the ground. A blast of sound hit Applejack, destroying her hearing until her eardrums could regenerate, and ruining her focus as the nightmare fired off spells to incinerate the surprisingly nimble Earth Pony. Don't get angry, Twilight. It's just what she wants. She's getting desperate. She's shown her entire hoof. She has no more tricks up her sleeve. She knows that even if she can just reverse any damage, it's not helping her get you to become a nightmare. Failsafe spell! The various dances of death ended. Twilight dumped extra power into the spell. It wasn't the reckless act of a child trying to force the solution. The magical constructs dissolved, along with the spells in use, clearing the battlefield once again. Nightmare Paradox! That's Nightmare Eclipse! I saw memories when I touched Minty Pie. Memories of a world that no longer is, just like you want to make this one, where every pony had their wishes come true, regardless of the effort they did or didn't put into them. But they laughed, they cried, they got angry, they loved. Just like the ponies who existed before them, who chose to be remade in the hope of making a world where every pony could just be happy if they wanted. Each version would be strange to the other, but they were alive, are alive. We each have a right to exist for what we are. Life is about growing, and as long as you can grow, it doesn't matter what you know or don't know, how long you've existed, or how you came to be. Whether you do or don't need somebody else to live, whether they happen to give you permission to live or not. And each version of us who has existed or will exist is as real as the next. Then come, Twilight Sparkle, bring forth the elements if you're that confident. If I am a force that is wrong, then just try to stop me. All right, every pony, Twilight shouted. All together. Honesty, said Applejack. Laughter, Apple Pie shouted. Generosity, Rarity called forth. Kindness, Buttercurl cried out. Loyalty, added Rainbow Dash. And magic. The 6 lights within the ponies united as one came together, and the blast of rainbow light rose up to crash down on Nightmare Eclipse. Too bad, the nightmare sighed. All right, every pony, all together. They came forth, an inverted rainbow nightmare of smoke and chains, a clown nightmare with crown wings, a willowy nightmare with butterfly wings, a mirror-winged nightmare with countless green eyes, and a nightmare of a dragon in jewel-encrusted gold armor. Element of harmony jewels appeared, each larger than a grown stallion. Loyal even into the gates of Tartarus! A never-ending laugh on meanie pants everywhere! Kinder to end the pain than to allow continued suffering. Face the truth, I never had a chance. I give my soul itself to you all. Ponies didn't have time to react, except for shock and horror as the 6 boulder-sized elements of harmony wielded by the nightmares shone brighter than the sun. They came together, devouring their rainbow of light, swept through the ponies with a terrible wail. The gigantic rainbow of light didn't stop. It became a dome and expanded like a supernova. The castle was destroyed to its foundations. The sky ocean evaporated. The sea ponies were annihilated before they could even hit the ground. The miserable and gray ponies of Ponyville saw the coming destruction and embraced it with open hooves. Their ends were completely painless. Their home was blown to nothing. Sweet rock acorns would reduce to molten rock, then the molten rock to mist. The rock farmer's dust was scattered indifferently. Cloudsdale was torn apart, the Hithercrest swiftly joining the sea ponies in death. Changelings exploded like bombs from the emotional overlord before the sphere ever touched them. Dragons lasted a few seconds more before their scales, then skeletons, were reduced to the same dust as the rest. Tiamat lasted the longest, surviving long enough to curse her fate and hoping the next life would be kinder for her chosen species. The ponies of Napon went last. Their oceans boiled to nothing. The sky was torn to shreds, and the various mutant and living object ponies had just enough time to kiss each other goodbye before nothing remained. The entire planet cracked and detonated, ripping the sun into space debris, scattering everything across empty space. Almost nothing lived. Inside a sphere of magic, Twilight Sparkle, cold and cold, shivered as she turned her head, her body floating helplessly. She saw the outlines of her friends. She dared to hope, but then the outlines fell apart, their forms breaking apart like sandcastles. Not even bones remained, just ash. Nothing left, said Nightmare Eclipse, despite the lack of atmosphere around her. No! Twilight Sparkle cried and sobbed hysterically. Solution to trick something, anything, Celestia! It's all very real, said the Nightmare. There is nothing left. All gone, all dust. No. Twilight Sparkle quivered. Should I send you spiraling off into the nothingness between worlds, then? No! There's only one way to fix all this. Only one way, only one choice, only one real path. And you know it. Oh, is that so? I guess you must like it all like this, then. Alone, nothing. Twilight Sparkle's heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. No, please, it can't be like this! Then you know what you have to do, don't you? Yes. And that is... everything. You have to reset everything. Everywhere, everywhen. Reset it all. We knew we'd see the truth, Twilight Sparkle. The Nightmare gently touched her horn to Twilight's head. Because we always do. Threads of darkness spread from Twilight's forehead. Yes, she said back. We always do. We always do. The words flashed on the screen, followed by a sad jingle. Pinkie Pie blinked at the message. Bomb Pie dropped his controller in defeat. I give up. Morning Light gripped hers in shock. It's impossible. No matter what we do, the real end boss always has another trick up her sleeve. We can't win. She pushed once on the directional pad. Pinkie Pie narrowed her eyes. Oh, no you didn't! But Mom! Morning Light protested, her hoof hovering over the confirm button. We just can't win! I know it looks that way, dear, but I promise there's a way to win. You don't need to give up so close to the end. And wouldn't it be kind of sad to just give up now? Pinkie Pie coaxed her adopted child. Bomb Pie looked at his foster sister, since she was holding controller 1. It's up to you. Morning Light's hoof hovered over the controller. The game awaited her choice.